So is trillions of dollars lined up on the fence to be dumped into Bitcoin and this crypto market? What's going on, dude? Let me break down what's going on with the Clarity Act and passing the Senate, and also break some things down, which I think are really important insight that you may hear. You're not going to hear anywhere else. All right. But right here, Gavin Mehl. So subscribe at the ones, and I'm going to go ahead and break this down right now. Let me show you what somebody's saying. All right.
I love the idea of innovation. The money center banks have been sitting on their hands for years, crapping on the crypto industry, but it's not about Bitcoin. Nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's digital payment systems. That's the potential. That's the amazing opportunity we have here. Now, the reason that will be important and why we'll get price appreciation on Bitcoin is the minute that happens, it will signal the move to the next act, the Market Infrastructure Act. And why that matters to everybody in this room is we will finally determine, is Bitcoin a commodity or a security? And when that is determined and regulated, Katie bar the doors, $1 trillion will come and index that asset. Let's all hope that happens while we're all alive here.
Yeah, so thank you to Casey Nicole and also to Original Bitcoin for posting me on X about that, and Casey give me a call. So that's Kevin O'Leary, and he's breaking down this potential about what's happening with this Clarity Act. And he's calling it a different act, but it's actually the Clarity Act and what's happening. So you can kind of get an idea for what these boomers and the fintech people are thinking about what could potentially happen. Now, it's massive. It's definitely massive. But I think there's really important elements that we got to understand here that people are missing. So I'm going to share here kind of a glimpse. Now, what's happened recently? I mean, I don't know why it's so hard for people on videos and X to do this, but I can't find anybody else doing this. So I'm going to do it. Here it is. This is the Senate Ag write-up, the one that just passed on the 29th, yesterday or the day before. It's now moving on to the next phase, which will be Congress, the House, it looks like. So in the Senate, purpose of it is providing the system for regulation of the offer and sale of digital commodities by the Commodities Future Trading Commission and for other purposes. So it's designed to make clarification between what's a commodity, what's a security, what's going to be under the CFTC. What is a digital commodity? That's what it's trying to define. Now, this is huge. I'm going to show you why. Digital commodity. All right, it's defining a digital commodity as a fungible digital asset that can be exclusively possessed and transferred person to person without the reliance on an intermediary, and it's recorded on a blockchain, period. See the period right there? That's a complete legalese sentence. That's a period. That's not an exception or a nuance or, and. That's a period. You must be peer-to-peer, and you must be on a blockchain without an intermediary. Let me tell you why that's absolutely massive and why people probably have no idea what's going on right now. So, all right, check this out. All right, so this is Craig Wright's nemesis called Hodlonaut. He's the one that Craig had sued back in the Norway trial. So he's on X here at Hodlonaut, and he's posting this. Now, he's having a midlife crisis. He says from 2019, large op returns. Okay, actually, that's not the post, but that's actually an article that he posted. But look at this. So he says this: what V30 increased op return size 1200x to 100 KB? I just realized that it's the same size BSV had since 2009. BSV had since 2009. All right, so meaning BSV has been around since 2009. First of all, I want you guys to clarify. That's Hodlonaut. This is the Craig Wright's nemesis. Bragged about by fake Toshi, talking about Craig Wright, as one of the improvements over BTC facilitated having every bit of the world's data on chain, and proudly trumpeted by BSV propaganda, CoinGeek, as a great improvement. Bitcoin Core basically merged 6-year-old Craig Wright code into version 30. Absolutely unbelievable. So he's posting this. Now, Bitcoin Core is now doing this op return and basically merging in what he claims to be Bitcoin SV code into this. This is a massive deal. I'm going to show you why they're doing this. This is back from 2020 when this article was posted. So 6 years ago, it was posted. Hodlonaut's having a crisis over this. Now look at this. We got large op returns. Bitcoin SV is the start of new data. So he's quoting more about this article. Now, this is huge because somebody over there in BTC Core is reading this right here. See this? Digital commodity. The term digital commodity means a fungible digital asset that it can be exclusively possessed and transferred person to person without necessarily reliance on an intermediary. Now, what exactly is going on with BTC? If you want to use BTC, let's say you have original BTC and it's a 2009 or whatever, old school, before 2017. You want to send it off, you can still use it as the one legacy address in between each other, but you're going to pay a huge amount of fees and it's going to be extremely slow. You're going to be at 5 transactions a second. It's going to go extremely, all right? So what everyone does is they use SegWit. It's a separate system, not peer-to-peer. All right? My opinion, it's not peer-to-peer. And it goes out to another network called Lightning Network or whatever other network it is. I'm not up to speed with all the new networks, but it's a third party that they use. That's where it goes to. And then it goes to the other guy as a derivative of BTC called, I think they call it BC something or other coin, or whatever. It's a different wallet address. It's a different type of token. It's completely changed. It's not Bitcoin because it's changed at that point. Now, it could potentially be, as long as it's using the one legacy address between each other, then it's still what it was before. Okay. So that's a really critical difference. So what's happening right now is the people in BTC Core, they've got some attorneys over there and they're advising them, are saying, look, if you guys don't start copying what Craig Wright had, talked about years ago and what the original Bitcoin protocol did in 2009, he's like Hodlonaut saying, you're going to be regulated out by this new law if it passes as it is. I'm sorry you are, dude. And nobody else seems to freaking get this, dude. Why am I the only one in the world that's talking about this? I don't know why. Okay. I mean, but I am. Now, I've already expressed my my opinion that I think the law shouldn't pass as it is. So it's passed through the Senate. It was a 12-1, 12-11 partisan vote. And I think it should be dumped, gotten rid of. I don't like it. But I'm showing you the bright side to it because it's defining a digital commodity. Now, the Kevin O'Leary little clip that I posted there at the beginning, honestly, it is actually kind of a big deal because if they do pass it and they clarify this. Now, here's the thing. These people, usually the institutional style investors, they're going to read this. And they're going to say, okay, well, what is this exactly? And when they say Bitcoin, and the bill doesn't say Bitcoin is a digital commodity. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that at all. So don't get fooled. Yeah, nowhere in the bill does it define Bitcoin or mention Bitcoin. So for people who are thinking that, Bitcoin and Ethereum and this, dude, no, that's not what it means. What it means is what it says is that if it's peer-to-peer, it's on a blockchain, then yeah, it's going to be a digital commodity. And that's, dude, I want that. I wish it would be nice and simple as that. I don't want to go into all this other stuff that's in there. But, if it were that simple, that's really actually massive because we want peer-to-peer transactions and we want to have them clarified that they're digital commodities. I think we already know that, but it seems to be like there's only one. But that's where we're at. This is the latest status update for the massive regulation that is about to come down. Maybe. Let's hopefully that it doesn't pass. I've already put calls out there. I don't think it should pass. I had 11 votes against it. But it's going to go on to the next step, which I think is going to be the House, and we'll see what happens. So either way, it's a massive step forward. So is trillions of dollars actually going to be coming into this shitcoin market, or is it going to come into the original Bitcoin protocol? Well, I'm going to do a space. Looks like on Sunday again. So we're on right on the 30th. So Sunday this week, look for that. I'm going to do a live. We'll kind of recap, and then we'll break everything down, whether it's this, or whether it's what's actually happening with the Metanet, because I want to start talking more about the Metanet. People are unfamiliar with what's going on in the new Web3 protocol called Metanet. And I think it's a buzzword that is much better than just Bitcoin. Bitcoin gets confusing. And, it's like, what is this? Bitcoin, Metanet is exciting. That's really where the building is happening. That's where the development is happening. And that's where the biggest opportunity in human history is happening over the next, say, 20 years. 10 to 20 year period. It's the merging of the Metanet with AI. Metanet is Web3. It's building on chain. It's going to building with blockchain and all these things as they're coming together. This massive infrastructure, two things coming together at once. The greatest invention in human history, which is known as Bitcoin, of course, but it's Metanet is the protocol that's basically being built with. That's not a company. It's like a buzzword, I'd say, for Web3. And it's, Metanet. Get ready for it. It's happening. Trillions of dollars coming into on-chain. I wouldn't doubt it, man. Get ready. People get ready. But I would say first, get ready for the price to go down first. My name is Gavin Mehl. Hit the ones and look for the space on Sunday. I'll see you at the top. Later.